Welcome to Lanterns Live, the only live stream YouTube channel dedicated directly and only nothing else. Green Lantern. We only talk Green Lantern.
Only Green Lantern.
Do you know? Listen. I'm never gonna change that. I'm never gonna change that. As much as I love Lanterns Cast and everybody else, like there's a live YouTube channel that covers Green Lantern. It's called like Green Lantern TV, I believe. They talked about Fantastic Four, so I'm still good. I'm still the only one. If someone else creates a live like a live stream Green Lantern channel, I'm like, oh shit, dude, I'm gonna have to change my intro.
Well, they'll just be the second one.
Talk about something else. Yeah,
you could just change it to say first.
Yeah, I could say that. It sounds, but whatever. We'll see. Dude, okay, so we were just talking for like, I don't know, 10 minutes about stuff, and we're going to get to Green Lantern 29 in a bit. I have some thoughts on Green Lantern 29, and I have a feeling I'm having the same thoughts on Green Lantern 30, where it might be a little bit of a like, hey, we're in holiday mode, so maybe we're not going to just like bombard you with lore and stuff. We're just going to have a little nice side quest, as it were.
Yes.
But we'll get to it. We'll get to it, because even though I feel like it's very side questy, it was still entertaining. But dude, so there's been so much Green Lantern stuff this week, but it like centered around lanterns, but nothing concrete. Nothing concrete. If folks aren't following Will at the Green Lanterns podcast, you absolutely must, because I'm pretty bad about like jumping on a live stream, because I'm like, do I want to really set up a live stream just because someone mentioned Chip? Like, how long could that be? Right. And then I need to get into I need to start doing shorts better.
We all do.
People do shorts. Like, I could do shorts and like talk for like a minute or two about, oh my gosh, they mentioned Chip. But my problem is going in and being like, I don't know how you guys do it, where you're like dropping in just like pictures from the internet. I don't know if things are happening automatically, but it's like when I do like a short, I'm like sitting there for like 45 minutes, like pulling little.
I think it depends on like what app you're using to do the shorts. Like, if you have a Canva account, for instance, you just set up a little template for shorts where you could drop in your face at the bottom, and then all you have to do is every time in the video you get to a new talking point, you just grab the image and place it right where the previous one was, and then you can just kind of keep going. But I mean, I think that Canva is like a paid for type thing. Their free stuff probably isn't all that up to snuff, but like, I'm sure you have something where you just got to figure out what it is and like set up the template for it. And it's not too bad once you really get going into it.
Yeah, I'll get there, guys. This channel's been around about a year and a half.
Gonna be a long journey.
Yeah. And the whole thing for me is like, I want to make sure everything's set in place by the time Lantern stuff does start dropping. And so like, I set up like the merch, I set up the membership stuff, I set up like everything I can, templates for when Lantern News drops, so that I could just drop in an image and start going live. I've done all kinds of stuff. When it comes to shorts, I feel like I'm way behind on that. I've been using some automatic tools from StreamYard, which is a paid service that I use to get this wonderful studio that you see before you. And part of that is because of folks like Darren Shimasaki, who became a member this week. So that's going to go.
Big shout out to Darren.
Yeah, thanks, Darren. I used to work with Darren back in my old Disneyland days. Cool dude, big Star Wars fan. But yeah, thanks. So if you guys want to join at the membership levels, you can. That helps go towards this. I realized that like I have a Patreon. I never really talk about it, but it's at Casino Skunk, which is this down here. It's my production company. But if you want to join that, you can. It's also $1, and I figured out how to do the member-only live streams for YouTube to get them over to those guys as well. So whatever you want, if you want to join, you can. If you don't, fine. If you don't decide to join any membership whatsoever, but you still want to support me in the channel, share with your friends. Go tell them to subscribe to Lanterns Live, because there is a lot of stuff going out right now for channels like Boba Talks, which I've been watching, Screen Crush, New Rockstars, and stuff like that. We were talking about New Rockstars before it came on. They just posted a video about Lanterns, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. This news about trailer footage seen by the press. I talked to my friend Jeff Jensen, who did the Vanity Fair article where that one picture dropped that we've all been using since February. I said, hey, were you in on that? And he's like, nah. And I'm like, well, how do we get in on that? He's a buddy of Damon's, and I think he co-wrote. Did he co-write? Jeff co-wrote Tomorrowland with Damon. Is that true?
Mark, I don't know.
But Jeff, who was in my documentary Getting Lost, which is out on Tubi now, little plug, did release that article. I did bring up Lanterns when we did his interview, because it was after the rumor had happened that Damon Lindelof was involved, and he told me nothing. He gave me nothing, and then he that article in February, and I'm like, I knew he knew something. So this thing with like New Rockstars, you were just telling me they did a breakdown of this trailer footage, and it was basically in everything they know about Green Lantern.
Kind of, yeah. Based on what they found out from the supposed footage that was shown in Sao Paulo. I did a video on it. In it, they referenced a hat that is behind Ralph, and just said that a Redditor had shared it, and that another Redditor had shared a theory about the center. And
that's us. We're on New Rockstars, and I'm glad they mentioned us by name, and I'm glad that everybody from over there, their millions of followers, are now coming over to our two channels.
Oh wait,
and being very excited that we had some stuff to break, including this hat that I own, and a second hat that I sent to you because you're awesome. And I mean, here's the thing. I'm not going to say I wasn't. No, I'm not going to say I'm trying to skirt around this. But it drives me nuts that basically I may or may not have been suggested that I don't show the hat.
Right.
That may or may not have happened. I don't know. But I feel like it was in my best interest not to show the hat anymore.
Correct.
Everyone else is showing the fucking hat. Everybody's showing the hat.
Yeah. I've been through that with some set photos previously where it was highly suggested. At one time via a 5-day suspension on some social media that I have for sharing something that somebody from the production team had shared, and I just reshared it, and I got a little 5-day takedown that I had to work through with a legal team, and that was a pretty wild time. But it's you're not saying it, but I'll say it. It is like just recently when I shared the news that Lanterns was going to be quote unquote delayed, and it was going to come out after Supergirl. I found out that like I put the video out, and it was like 3 days later, all of a sudden Twitter had picked up on it, and all these big accounts were now sharing it. And I only found out because I woke up to feed my baby at like 1 a.m, and I had like 19 notifications from Lanterncast copying and pasting the same message over and over and over, telling people to go check out my page because everybody was tagging Lanterncast as where the original like article and emails came from. Every time the hat is shared, Lanterns Live is not mentioned. When that theory about the center is shared, Green Lanterns podcast is not mentioned. It would just be nice on one of these big accounts to like properly attribute where the stuff was found.
John Campia's video is still up. It's been up for like a month. Which was up like 2 days after mine was blocked by WB. And again, I don't know exactly why my video was blocked. but I may or may not have been asked not to post pictures of the hat, which at this point they're fucking everywhere.
Yeah. And they could be shown in higher quality.
New Rockstar. I have a Canon. I'm now a professional photographer. I use my Canon digital. Like it's a professional camera. It's a Canon 5D Mark III camera that he took really, really nice shots of the hat. And I'm like, I reached out and I said, hey, would it be cool? And I don't know what the response was, but they're not on the internet. So you can fill in the gaps. So it's just like, it drives me nuts that and it makes my wife mad. My wife's like, it's like, how come you don't get to show it?
Right.
Like, why is everybody else still showing it?
But these other bigger accounts can.
It's driving me nuts. So the whole thing is good that's going off. If you're not familiar, this trailer was shown to the press before this big convention thing that's going on in Brazil, I believe.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
like CCXP.
The press have been describing it, what's happened in the trailer. And then one of the things that's been described is that the flying is really great. And I remember somebody on the internet on the flying team. Now I'm going to say this. I could say this. I don't know if you can say this, but somebody on the flying team posted a video of like stunt performers doubling as we're assuming Green Lanterns, people who can fly, wire rigged to giant cranes and leaping like, I don't know, like maybe like 100 feet into the air. I don't know height, but it was, they were like running and launching like super high up.
And it looked good.
That video, it looked really good. And we've known that. We've known that the flying is going to look good. But, you know, I don't know if you were muzzled. I don't know if that's the thing you're talking about where you got suspended for 5 days. And I don't really care to know the answer. But, like, that's the thing. Like, folks, if you're into Green Lantern and you see Lantern news, make sure you check in with Will and I, because we got the good shit like months before New Rockstar does.
Yeah.
Boba Talks is pretty good on getting in there quick. He's doing like shows like every day. If he's not doing a live stream, he's doing a video.
Yeah.
And he's really good.
He had a roller coaster moment because he did a video off of my report that Lanterns would be delayed. He was upset, obviously. He didn't say anything negative about me personally.
Right.
I thought his video was excellent, and at the end of it, he was like,
you by name.
Yeah, and he's like, but at the end of the day, this still hasn't come from the studio, so I still have some hope that it's not delayed. Then shortly after that, they had the investor report or whatever it was, the shareholder meeting. And in the shareholder meeting, they still said Lanterns, early 2026.
What's funny about that is
he made a video about that.
I wasn't mad at you. I wasn't mad at you. Like, I wasn't like, oh, Will lied to us. I was like, oh shit, great. Lanterns sooner, great. But then it came out.
Yes. Yeah. I tried to tell some people on Reddit that I was having a back and forth with, as I was like trying to defend my honor. That
also the thing is,
in these shareholder meetings, in the shareholder meetings, they're going to put out like the positive stuff to get people hyped because they know it's going to make its way to the internet. And then if they had something that they wanted to talk about that was negative, they would wait until a little bit after. As you're about to say it, but yeah, on my page, everybody was fine. But when the bigger accounts started sharing all the stuff and I was getting tagged in it, there was a lot of comments under those accounts where people were talking a lot of shit about me. And I was like, what is going on?
But they were saying like, one of the things I thought, and I get this a lot on my responses, this is a live show. So when I talk, I'm just having a conversation. And I may not say something that's quite accurate, or my phrasing isn't right. So people like to go in my comments and go, well, actually, Power Girl is the one. And it's like, that kind of shit drives me nuts. And for you, the thing that was driving me nuts on your behalf was people going in, well, there isn't a release date yet, so how could it be called delayed?
Yeah.
And when the news came out, when the news came out that it was coming out after Supergirl, every fucking news outlet, including the Wrap, which I think broke the story, said Lanterns delayed until after Super. Everyone said delayed, not going after the Wrap. They're all going after Will, which is bullshit.
It was fun. It was fun.
So here's the thing. This trailer, I need to see it. And I'm hoping we get something soon, maybe in the next like 3 or 4 weeks. It's weird that they would show something to the press and then not show everybody else.
Here's the other thing. Was it just one trailer shown, or was there two? Because there's conflicting information out there right now about what was shown at these.
This is I have a theory about this, by the way.
Now the Amaleche website, that's an actual trade, so I don't think that they're lying. And I think maybe the other user is also telling the truth about what he saw, because I think he also works for other companies. I mean, he was invited to see a trailer, so he works for somebody decent. But maybe there was two trailers shown, and I think
some accounts say that they saw Hal Jordan flying. It looked great, but he wasn't in his Green Lantern uniform. Another person said, "Oh, there was like 2 shots of the uniform."
Yeah,
and my theory is either, like, I think the press. This is my theory: is that the press got the one to report on that didn't show the uniform, but they accidentally sent the one that's going to go out globally that shows the uniform to this other person, or the person who didn't see the uniform was fucking bored by Green Lantern and wasn't paying attention.
I don't know. They seem kind of hype in their little that were breakdown of what they saw. They did seem like they were pretty hyped about it. So I don't think it was that they were bored, but it's possible. And this is just from you and I have received a lot of information that has not gone out publicly about the show yet.
Right.
Dealing with the Rings of Power. And I was flown out to go see something that only 30 people in the world would have seen. Like, we got to see 20 minutes of footage early, like half a year before everybody else did.
Right.
I know from being in that fandom that video, that full 20-minute clip that was just shown to a small group of people, eventually made its way to some other people. And it's possible that this user may have seen a different type of trailer, or what is going to be the full trailer compared to this teaser. And he thought, when people said that the Lanterns, teaser was shown, that it was the video he saw. And maybe what he saw was leaked to him early by somebody who has access to it, and it's not the one that everybody else is going to see. And you were saying you hope in the next 3 to 4 weeks we're going to see it. I think the best shot is that at CCXP, this whole thing that's happening in Brazil, that's where it will be shown. And then I imagine once it's shown there, either later that day or probably the next day, it gets posted to all the socials for all of us normal people to be able to see it as well.
They usually do it really close to the same time, because they'd rather have their footage online looking like pristine how they want to present it, as opposed to showing off footage with blurry cameras and people saying, "Oh, it looks like shit," because it's cam footage or whatever. So I'm hoping, that's me, that's my blue ring firing bright.
I think you're right. I think when I went to San Diego Comic-Con and we saw the Rings of Power trailer, the official one, I think right when that ended, it takes time to get out of Hall H, but once we got out, we log online, and I think the trailer was also shown online. So if it wasn't the same exact time, it had to be within a minute or two after we saw it, and it was a 3-minute trailer or whatever. So yeah, probably once they drop it, they'll put it out for everyone.
I hope. Obviously, that's what I want. I want this trailer as soon as possible.
Yeah,
as soon as possible.
We're getting there.
I can't wait. The fact that it's cut, there's footage cut and is available and has been shown to people outside the inner super secret Lantern circle. It's just, you guys, upload to YouTube. Just let's go. People are going crazy.
I've talked about the couple people that I talked to that have been able to see. I don't know if they saw the footage or if they've just seen it being filmed, but they have high praise for it. They have not given high praise to everything in the DCU, so I do trust that these people are being objective. But both the reviewer website and the individual who said that he saw the suits, both accounts came away with very high praise for what they have seen, and we're very excited to see the show now.
One of the accounts says that the suits are comic accurate. I've heard that it may not be a fan favorite version of a suit, and I'm thinking people are speculating in Earth 1 costumes.
Yeah.
Which here's the thing. They've been showing these Earth 1 costumes ever since this thing was announced, when James Gunn did his first, hey, I'm now the head of DC and Gods and Monsters, and here's what we're doing. He said Lanterns, and it was a picture of Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan from Earth 1, Green Lantern. And I've never liked that, and I still don't like it, because we've waited forever for a live action Green Lantern thing to be done right. And if this is going to be the thing that's so great and everyone loves, like, we're stuck with those suits. And I don't want to be stuck with those suits. I want to see comic accurate suits. And so that kind of is like, again, just show us so I can get used to this stuff and then eventually like be okay with it. But we, again, have had nothing official since February.
Yeah. Well, here's the hope in early December is the kickoff, and we get to see actual moving footage and audio, and then we can kind of go from there and have a lot more to talk about when it's not just one still image for basically a year.
I swear we're going to get that coming into HBO in 2026, where they do like the 3-second montages of like White Lotus and Rings of Power and stuff. And we're going to get 3 seconds of Lanterns, and there's going to be those fucking guys walking down the street. And I'm going to be so mad. I'm going to be so mad. Like, at this point, they're trolling us. I know like Damon Lindelof is very secretive when it comes to his projects. He went through all kinds of hoops with Lost, and I'm sure he did that with Leftovers and Watchmen and stuff like that. I just need something. Because this trailer apparently says that a squirrel is mentioned.
There can only be one. There can only be one.
Or two. Is Badge? He's a badger, right? Because I noticed a lot of people using Badge.
Yes.
In their art.
People were questioning, actually, if it was going to be him or not. I would think if you're. I mean, we were speculating if in Superman we were seeing Chip, because there was a leak footage that had a squirrel shown in it and ended up just being a regular squirrel. I think they're aware of the conversation online, and I think Chip is a character that is enjoyed by the Green Lantern fans. It would be a missed opportunity bringing in an animal that is squirrel or squirrel-like and having it not be him.
They have a CG squirrel asset from their Superman movie that they can bring over to Lanterns. They don't have to do anything. It's all the wireframe and all that shit's there. Just give them a little outfit.
It's going to be Chip. It's got to be Chip.
It's going to be Chip. I hope so. And I'm hoping like that's the thing, because they keep saying, and it's driving me nuts, true detective, true detective, true detective. And for me, every time they say that, it sounds like appealing to the masses, not the Green Lantern fans. That they're trying to get that audience as opposed to the Green Lantern diehards like us. And so for me, it's like every time I hear that true detective, I'm like, please stop saying that, because Green Lantern, the comics, are not true detective. But if that's the catapult to something, if we get Chip, like, we know we're getting Sinestro. So there's got to be more than just this like small town investigation.
Yeah. For those who haven't watched the new Rockstars video that dropped today, they do go over this a little bit, and they mention that Porna Jaganathan, I'm probably butchering her name, but playing, I believe, Zoe in the show, she mentioned in an interview that you have the characters like Sinestro, you have the Guardians, like she mentions those things, and then there was also a clip from, I believe it was James Hawes, who's one of the, I think he's an executive producer and also one of the showrunners for the first couple episodes. He did an interview and they reference it in their video and they play it, but basically he says, we think we're going to take care of like the hardcore fan, but we're going to start with them at like this grounded level, and he literally says, before we take it intergalactic.
Right. And I believe
I don't think he wouldn't say that if there's no space.
I believe that was Brandon Davis's interview with him.
Yeah, it was.
Like, dude, like, just the thought of having Chip in live action has me excited. That Superman behind the scenes set leak shots where it showed the squirrel had me excited. I just the thought of that. And I was even to the point where when like they were unfinished shots, every time they showed Guy Gardner, I was like, oh, there's definitely enough room for Chip to be flying around over his shoulder.
Yeah.
Which is a duo I would love to see. Because of course, like Guy would command like respect from like Chip. I feel like that's a fun duo, is Guy Gardner and Chip just hanging out all the time. But if we do get to a point where we see Chip, if you have Chip, they're gonna have other like court members. It's not like, oh, just Chip is in it. But I think it says it just mentioned Chip or a squirrel. They didn't show the squirrel.
Yeah, I'm hopeful that it's just the people who got to see it, they're not like hardcore Green Lantern fans, so maybe a squirrel is shown on screen, but they weren't familiar with who that was supposed to be.
Yeah. I'm completely on board with Leo here, who says them mentioning Chip completely alters my expectation what the show might look like, rather than being hesitant, for them being hesitant to show that kind of stuff. I agree. We don't know what the tone is. And I feel like as soon as you introduce Chip, you're like, it's a superhero squirrel that flies. Like, I don't know how serious your tone could be when that is in the show. And I know, like in Guardians, which James Gunn is involved with Guardians, not as much Lanterns, but with Guardians, like they were able to bring Rocket to life and give that character humanity and stuff and play it very real, especially in Guardians Volume 3. So I can see that, but I feel like it's a flying squirrel. Like it can't be, how serious can you get with a flying squirrel? There's another bit of info that came out where it seems like, where it appears that John and Hal have been together for a few months and that Hal is kind of being a mentor to John.
Yeah. I think the wording around it was that Hal is like a substitute teacher, which would imply that somebody else was supposed to be training John, not Hal, and Hal's had to step in for it. And that could be potentially somebody who got murdered and then it needs to be investigated. It could be, because we do know he signed on for, I think, 3 episodes. It could be Guy Gardner was supposed to be training John. And I believe we had Nathan Fillion mention that he had more or less only filmed stuff with Aaron Pierre, who's playing Jon Stewart. So maybe he shows up and he leaves to go take care of something. And when he does that, that's when Hal steps in to become his mentor.
Yeah.
I think... actually, that's not an official cast announcement, so I'm not going to bring that one up. But I was thinking,
but as a Green Lantern fan, a diehard Green Lantern fan, we all know that the teacher of the Green Lanterns is Kilowog.
Yes. So maybe something happens to Kilowog,
which I would hate.
Yes.
Which I would hate.
No, I was going to bring up that
Kilowog.
people looked on IMDb and they saw a new child actor not announced for the show, but tied to the project, saying that they were a young Hal Jordan. And we already knew that we were getting flashbacks with like a younger Jon Stewart, younger versions of his parents. So it seems like, maybe we can see different layers of a Hal Jordan growing up, and we just don't always see him as this grizzled old veteran that everybody is so scared of for some reason.
Yeah. Everybody who's so mad that Hal Jordan is so old, where, well, here you go.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah. There
Like
will
an
be a child now.
11-year-old kid. Yeah. I still have a theory. Like, I feel like people are talking about like, oh, fucking Kyle Chandler's so old, he's gonna be dead. Why are they doing him like this? Why is DC without a single like shred of evidence saying Hal Jordan's gonna die?
Correct.
But in the comics, classically, there's a version of Hal Jordan where he comes back to life and he doesn't have his graying hair.
Yeah.
So for me, when I see the Hal Jordan in the one picture, when I see that Hal Jordan, he looks just like the 1990 Green Lantern Volume 3, I believe, run. When you open up that thing, it's literally old, scruffy beard,
Yeah.
white hair, Hal Jordan in the jacket and jeans walking down a road in America. And so I'm thinking if this is the starting point for Hal, there is a possibility that we get to a later version where he has to die and go through a rebirth.
Yeah, I just think this show has suffered from fear mongering more than any other show I can recall in recent memory. And I follow a lot of television, but like just because Kyle Chandler is older, that made a whole chunk of the internet just assume he's dying in this show. Right. Just like the word grounded has made it where like so many people have just assumed that like we weren't getting space, we're not getting any sort of like flying, we're not going to be using constructs because they use the term grounded. But Lindelof has already done a grounded superhero show with The Watchmen, and there's all sorts of crazy fantasy and sci-fi elements to it while still making it feel I mean, you were just talking about Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah.
You would think adding a raccoon on screen that is obviously CGI because we don't have, paid actor raccoons, that it would make it feel crazy. But Rocket Raccoon was still used to tell a very emotional and grounded story that people could relate to and people felt for the character. You can still tell a grounded story and still put things in space and put fights in the air and use constructs from your ring. Like, I think part of it is we've only had an image and we've not gotten a lot of information about the show after that. So people are jumping to conclusions and filling in the blanks because we haven't been told anything else from the studio itself.
To the point where I'm getting my Instagram feed is getting inundated with AI pictures from the show or of the show, artists' renditions of what the suit's going to look like based on descriptions, based on Earth 1, based on classic comics. I've seen nonstop artwork of like what they think these guys are going to look like. Like, just give us something so we don't have to like constantly be like inundated with stuff that's getting our hopes up. And I flip and I see a picture that looks like a poster, but I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
Hal's wearing a different ring than in the one image. John's ring is on the wrong finger. And it's just like, you guys like stop doing this to us. You're giving us a heart attack with all these Photoshop and fan designs and stuff. Because it's getting my hopes up on what we're actually going to see. And I feel like it's just going to be Earth 1. It's going to be an astronaut suit with a glowing green lantern symbol in front of it or something. I don't know. But man, like, I feel like I felt like we've been just on the cusp of something dropping, something official dropping. And I really want that to happen when I'm available. Like I keep waiting. Like every time I leave the house, I'm like,
I'll be out of town next week
too. Yeah. I mean, anytime I get a text from you, I'm just like, I can't open it up fast enough. I need to see what's going on.
Soon, man. Soon.
I know. I believe it's always been one of those things where back when during the Guggenheim days when he was working on this project and even before that, I kept saying like, I don't believe it. I won't believe it until I see it. And I feel like I'm back at that point again. Like I saw the one image, but it's like, they've been so hushed that I'm just like, is it actually going to happen?
Well,
and then you got some nerds yelling in my ear like, WB is going to sell to Saudi Arabia or Netflix, and Netflix is going to come in with Zack Snyder and squash everything, and we're not going to get Lanterns, and we're not going to get Supergirl. And
I'm Zach, who Rebel Moon didn't do too hot, and his
got canceled, right? The third
his
one?
God anime, whatever it was, got canned. So I don't think they're bringing back the Snyderverse. I've seen all those takes though. Every time I log into X or Reddit, I see those pop up all the time, and it just kind of cracks me up. I've also seen people say that the whole reason Lanterns has been delayed is because they were awaiting the sale to whoever the other company that will come in and buy all this is, and then they'll make the call on if they're going to put stuff out or if they're going to Batgirl it. I cannot stress to people enough as somebody who I talk to some people at DC who work on the show, but I 100% have been in contact with HBO for things I've done on Reddit and on social media. I said from day one, this has nothing, the delay has nothing to do with quality. The delay has nothing to do with a sale. It is strictly a scheduling issue with HBO where they get to determine, because it's their show, when it is dropping on their network, because this is going to be a Sunday night show. And when it comes to those bigger ones, I think if it was going to be a Thursday show, they could just drop it whenever. But because it is going to be a premiere Sunday show, they need to find a slot that they feel that it's going to fit in real well. And unfortunately or fortunately, it's going to be after Supergirl. But
yeah,
with the Guggenheim stuff, I feel like they were really shooting for the moon. They were going to tell a story of multiple timelines featuring 2 different batches of Lanterns at those 2 different timelines. And they called it a 4-quadrant show where they were going to try to hit all the demos all at one time. And it just, it was a lot of shooting for the moon. And I think we only ever got 1 or 2 cast announcement for it. At least with this, we have a pretty good idea of who's in the cast. We have a pretty good idea, not pretty good idea. We know what Hal and John look like on screen in regular clothes. And we know that the show has wrapped filming.
Yes.
And a trailer just got dropped. It's coming. It's coming. It sucks that we've had to wait for as long as we have, but it is coming, and I think it's going to be really good.
Cowboy's in the chat. He says, "What's up, man? How are you feeling about the Earth One costume rumors?" We mentioned that earlier. I would rather see a more Silver Age style, regular Hal Jordan sort of costume like this than I would the sort of astronaut suit. Hunter, we'll get this in a second. No, finish your thought, because this might be a little bit of a.
I don't hate the Earth One costumes, but I thought Earth One is a good, fun story.
Right.
I enjoy reading Earth One. I thought it was solid. I hated Guy Gardner's costume when I saw it. In the story, with who he's with, it's explained in a way where it makes sense in universe why Guy is wearing something that is, Lord Tech wear, basically. Yeah. I don't think they have to be on that same like shill type level for Hal and John, because they're just Green Lanterns. They're not part of the Justice Gang. So they should be able to do their own thing. I will, if it is the Earth One look, I'm not going to love it. I won't hate it either, but I won't love it. The most important thing to me is that the story is really, really good, and that the show, through 8 episodes, tells a nice connected story that people can really buy into, and we can, from here on, the one thing that we'll hope for is like more comic accurate suits with Guy, with Hal, with John. Like that's if that's the worst thing that we're debating after the show is done airing, then they knocked it out of the park.
I'll say this. We may or may not have gotten a glimpse of Green Arrow in this series. But if it was from Garrett Gyllenhaal, if that was a glimpse at what a Green Arrow looks like on this series, it's fairly comic accurate, and I think I have a little more faith in the costumes. But we'll see. Again, show us anything. I want to bring up Hunter here. Lantern Live. What's your thoughts on Snyder Bros are saying lanterns are going to be goofy because of Chip? I don't really care what Snyder Bros have to say about anything. Here's the thing. I'm a big fan of Man of Steel. I'm a big man of Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice Ultimate Edition. And I'm a big fan of Zack Snyder's Justice League. I like Watchmen, Zack Snyder's Watchmen.
Yeah.
The first movie I saw of his was Dawn of the Dead in the theater, written by James Gunn. I'm a fan of Zack Snyder. But here's the thing. I'm a bigger fan of DC Comics. I love DC Comics. And right now, Zack Snyder's no longer the writer on those books. James Gunn is the writer of DC. So if you think about it in the comics way, like you have books change hands. Jeffrey Thorne had his run on Green Lantern. I didn't care for it. And now we have Jeremy Adams. And so for me, this is no different. We had Zack Snyder's run on DC. Now we have James Gunn. And I'm really excited because it's new and fresh, and it is it's lighter and it makes me happy. I had a smile on my face the entire time I was watching Superman, the entire time I was watching Peacemaker. I struggle, and I'm only halfway through Creature Commandos, but eventually I'll get there. So for me, when it comes to the Snyder Bros, like, hey, listen, listen. I was doing the stuff they were doing when it came to trying to get Green Lantern, the animated series, back on the air. Like I was at Cartoon Network, and trying to get like Save Green Lantern, the animated series, hashtag GTLAS or GLTAS, and all of that stuff. So I understand their plight. That my issue with the Snyder thing is, it started with was it Restore the Justice League, or there was the hashtag Save the Justice League, or the Justice League thing.
They wanted the Snyder cut.
Release the Snyder cut. So the thing with that was, it was a group of fans that were passionate about it, and they were using that platform to sort of raise awareness about like can I say suicide on YouTube anymore?
Yeah,
but they were TikTok. Bringing awareness to teen suicide because of Zack Snyder's daughter and stuff like that, and it was a good cause. And I'm like, listen, I can rally behind this cause because like these people, although they're very loud and vocal and really like doing everything, they're buying billboards, they're buying airplanes flying over and stuff. Like I was like, this is great. Like, they're not asking for anything crazy. They're just like, we heard that Zack Snyder had a cut of his Justice League and we'd like to see it. And I'm like, I'm a massive DC fan. And if there's more Justice League out there for me to watch, including a possible appearance of Green Lantern, like count me in.
Yeah.
I was all on board. And then it happened and I was happy and I watched it and I loved it. I remember getting up at like 4 a.m, going over to my HBO Max or HBO Go, whatever it was at the time, hitting play and spending whatever it was, like 3.5 hours, 4 hours, watching this really cool DC Comics thing. And I was bummed that Green Lantern wasn't in it. Kilowog was in it, but again, dead Kilowog, not happy. So for me, I was like, the fans did something good. They raised awareness and money for this charity while sort of being the civil entity that like was like, we're DC fans, we're Zack Snyder fans, and we want to see this thing that we missed out on. And it happened, and it was great. Once they got that, I feel like it shifted gears to a whole different group that started demanding other stuff. And just being complete assholes. And it didn't come from a place of charity. It didn't come from a place of positivity. It came from a demanding thing that is now just gone. It's gone. It's not coming back. You think Ben Affleck's going to come back as Batman in like 3 or 4 years? If Zack Snyder's third Justice League movie, or second, I guess, was announced today, the amount of hoops that they have to go through to make that movie, where Ben Affleck's going to be like 3 years older when they start shooting. Do people want Gal Gadot anymore? Do people want Ezra Miller anymore? Does Jason Momoa want to go back to Aquaman?
while he's currently playing Lobo.
Yeah, like I'm all for Elseworld stuff. I get it. Because people complain that, oh, we're not going to get a DCU Batman until the Batman 2 comes out, and that's not coming out forever. For me, it's when the Batman 1 came out, it came out before The Flash, which had Ben Affleck Batman, Michael Keaton Batman,
yep.
and George Clooney Bruce Wayne. People can handle multiple Batmans at once. So
they can find a way to make it work.
If they did Elseworlds, Zack Snyder's Justice League 2, Darkseid, or whatever, I'm on board with that. But what the fans need to realize is like some of this the cast is toxic. Some of them are getting up there in age. I think it's a fool's errand, and I think it's shitty when Snyder Bros come into comments and start acting like uncivilized, ungrateful, entitled buttholes. And it's like, guys, do you love DC or do you just love fighting and picking fights?
Here's my thing on it. Just because Chip is in, that doesn't make it automatically goofy. On top of that, if Chip is in and it's goofy, this is a comic book show. There are goofy moments in comic books all the time. The other thing is, I don't have a problem with like the good Snyder Bros. If you're one of the good ones where you're just wanting pro Snyder stuff, 100% fine. I love most of what he's put out. I don't think Rebel Moon was great, but I think I enjoyed it more than what a lot of people did, because a lot of people did not like those movies. You can be a good internet neighbor. You can control how you handle things. You can control what you put out into the world. If you want to still restore the Snyderverse or whatever, that's fine. When you're doing it at the expense of other things, or when you're trying to knock other things in order to get what you want, I think that's kind of like where the line is crossed. Right. For like these campaigns to go out during the Superman film of trying to put out so much negative messaging around James Gunn's Superman just because you want to bring back Snyder's Superman, that's when I think you're just taking it too far. When you're being a bad internet neighbor, when you're trolling people over the stuff, when you're attacking other people because they might enjoy something, like that's wild to me. Like those are not good bros that we need to be taking feedback from or trying to rationalize anything to them. But again, Chip being in, not the end of the world. Chip being goofy, if he was, still not the end of the world. Like, again, Rocket Raccoon could have been very goofy. Groot could have been very goofy. But they find a way through multiple movies to still make you invest and feel emotions for what these characters are going through.
Here's the thing, and this is all based on James Gunn. This has nothing to do with the Lanterns team. But just if you think about James Gunn in DC, like he brought the craziest Z-level tier characters to the Suicide Squad.
Mm-hmm.
And Polka Dot Man, if you were to tell me, hey, James Gunn is putting Polka Dot Man into a movie, I'm like, oh man, that movie's going to be fucking silly. That's going to be a really silly movie. Well, guess what? Polka Dot Man was funny.
Yeah.
But he was still portrayed as a grounded human. And you got probably the best portrayal of Polka Dot Man in any media, including comics. So for me, it's like, yeah, they're comic books. We can have fun with this stuff. I'm really happy that the folks in the chat right now, Hunter and Cowboy, are both saying, like fairly, like reasonable stuff about Zack Snyder. Like you don't have to be angry. It's not one or the other. I'm a fan of both. I have all of Zack Snyder's movies on my Apple TV.
Yeah. I've told Ralph this before, but like not a guilty pleasure, but like my movie that I'll put on late at night when I just want to kill a few hours because I'm having a hard time sleeping. I put on the Watchmen movie all the time. I still like Snyder stuff. I don't think Snyder's not done anything wrong out here. I just think that there are some fans who have co-opted a previous movement and turned it into something toxic when it wasn't previously.
Right. Agreed. we're about 10 minutes out from the hour, and we have
Let's
to
get into
talk
the
about
comic.
Green Lantern 29, written by Jeremy Adams. I already forgot the artist. I like had it in my head, because I was like saying it over and over again so that I hit the pronunciation by the time we got here, and I completely forgot it. It's like a 4-syllable last name.
It's Gian Domenico.
Yes.
Jan Domenico. Like DI space. Yeah.
I'm going to say this right off the bat. I very much had a good time reading this issue. It did feel like, hey, it's the holidays. Here's a nice little fun story team up with Hal Jordan and Green Arrow. And it was a lot of fun. But again, it really didn't, without Zermanico being on the book, it definitely felt like here's a little kind of a side story for all to just like kind of enjoy. It wasn't bad. It just had, there was like just Hal. Carol was in the background of a shot or two. And for the most part, it was basically Hal coming to help out Ollie for a street level thing that explodes into a bigger deal. And I don't have a ton to say about this issue. So if you want to take it away, go for it.
Yeah, I just think from start to finish, I like when we talk about these comics before, and some issues just have these incredible highs and some might have like lower lows, but then they also have these bigger moments that you're gonna remember or that you think about going from like one to the other. This story is Green Lantern 29 is strictly a Hal and Ollie story. It's just them two. We don't have Kyle, Odyssey, Khan. We don't have Star Sapphire. We don't have the rest of the Green Lantern Corps in this issue. It is strictly these two gents. And them being together, it's almost always an enjoyable read. There's nothing really negative to say about it. They have this scene where once they take care of some stuff, they head to a bar and they're talking about like, Ollie's wondering why Hal has even shown up.
Right.
And this is like, now he gives him the rundown of like what he was able to read, or at least a little bit of it, from the Book of Oa that now had his name in it from previous issues.
Yeah. And the vision he saw.
Yes. So while he's sitting there and he's just talking about how good everything is, Ollie's basically like, you can like skirt around it and not tell the truth to like Carol or somebody else in the Green Lantern Corps, but you're talking to me. Like, we know each other, so like, what is really going on? That's when he finally like tells him what's going on, and all he tells him is that like he didn't like what was in there. It's very serious, but he's still trying to wrap his head around it. And they're obviously doing this with some drinks, and then they get to this cool moment where they're like, "Hey, these guys over here are starting some issues. Let's go fight them and see who can beat up more of these guys before we get back out." And I think it's Mr. Terrific who like sends them an alert that he needs them to go check in on something else here, which has ties to the DC KO story that is being told. But the two of them have this really cool team up. I always like when superheroes team up and we get to see something that they wouldn't normally do on their own. And one of like the constructs that Hal comes up with is to basically just make this giant, awesome bow and arrow construct.
Yeah.
Where Ollie's shooting his arrow and Hal has, just a giant version of a bow and arrow on top of it. And they shoot at this giant robot. And the robot sees it coming and he doesn't attack to destroy the arrow, or he thinks he does. And what happens is it eats through the construct, but then because it only killed or damaged the construct part of it, Ollie's arrow is able to still get in there and finish the job against it. And I thought that like that was a really cool thought process, because if they combine the attack, it's like, why doesn't Hal just do the big arrow on his own even without Ollie? Like, it's not needed. But to write it in a way where it makes sense, where they would have to do it together, knowing that one of them is going to fail and hopefully the other one still lands and it works. I thought that was very clever writing in that regard. And then the way the comic ends is basically, Hal knowing he needs to go somewhere else to talk to somebody else at this point to help him figure out what is going on. Partially through Ollie's like nudging of him to go do this thing. And it's at this point in the comic, at the very end of this book, where we get to see the other characters. Like, they've not been in the whole issue, and then it's just the final pages. They're met up in person with Mr. Terrific. I do believe that Star Sapphire is in the background. Blue Beetle's in the background. I think Martian Manhunter's there. We get to see Metamorpho, which is cool because I don't think without the Superman movie, I don't think we would be seeing Metamorpho popping up in comics like this.
Right.
He's just not the type of character that you would think to throw into stuff randomly. So to see him in there, like, that's another cool extension of, like, when a movie comes out and it's good, people will, you know, buy in and check out these characters, and those characters will get more exposure, which is kind of what we hope for Guy Gardner. And if Lanterns is good, John and Hal get more of a boost too. But basically the issue ends with Hal admitting that he needs to go to, he just had this entire issue with just Ollie, and now he's about to end this and head to Gotham so he can meet up with Batman. So we get a Hal and Ollie story, and now we're getting Hal and Bruce Wayne in the next upcoming issue. And there's been a lot of pretty iconic moments. I mean, there's a lot of iconic moments with, you know, Oliver Queen and Hal Jordan, but there's also a lot of iconic moments between Bruce Wayne and Hal Jordan as well. So, like, it was, I think, like, if you think of it, like, maybe the ceiling wasn't as high in this issue as some previous issues, but the floor wasn't as low either. So it's like, it's a good issue. I don't know if it would be a great issue for anybody, and I don't think it's a bad issue either.
Yeah.
But I also do hope that after the next issue, we kind of get through. It's cool to have, like, this one-parter story where you're not focused on all these other storylines. But I know Kyle's supposed to be a big part of all this, and I love Kyle, so I would like to see more of him in the next issue or the issue after that, and maybe have him.
It might be the issue after that. I think next month issue, it teased, you know, with Hal and Batman together, that it's going to be similar to this, maybe.
That's what I'm thinking.
And then which is fine. Again, it's the holiday season, so I really honestly feel like they're kind of giving us, like, little kind of side quests and stuff.
Yeah, it's like the filler episode of the TV show before you get back to the real good stuff, because, like you said, holidays are coming up. Less people are going to be reading and paying attention to all that as they spend time with family and friends.
Yeah, it's a nice fun read on your trip to the family's house for Thanksgiving and stuff. So it's a good issue for sure. Yeah, there's nothing to speculate about. Hal and Ollie went and kicked some ass, and that's the story. I had a blast. I am rereading Jeffrey Thorne's run. Oh, I realized that I stopped at issue 3.
Wow.
I thought I made it farther into that run before I bailed. And the reason why is because of what's going on in Green Lantern Corps, which I'll be covering in a couple weeks. But also the week after that, someone has requested to be on my show, and that's none other than Morgan Hampton.
Okay.
Reached out and said, "Hey, could I be on your show?" And I'm like, yes. I've been wanting to get him on. And with John Stewart's story over there on Green Lantern Corps being, like, his split into his split personality, or his doubling, or whatever it is, in the dark sector and all of that, like, I'm like, should I better catch up so I know what I'm talking about? And I know what's going on. So I'm in the long haul. I have 3 weeks to catch up on Jeffrey Thorne's run. I have 1 week to do a reread of Far Sector, because Allison, who came on a few weeks ago and was looking for Green Lantern recommendations, I mentioned Far Sector, and she purchased the little manga size one.
Yes, the little compact,
like, and had it, like, in her hands, like, the very next day after our episode. So I said, I have a free week coming up, so next week is going to be a Far Sector review with Allison. So I'm excited about that.
That's awesome.
And then Green Lantern Corps the following week, and then Morgan Hampton interview the week after that. So a lot of fun stuff coming up. And then anytime anything drops, you're going to want to make sure you hit that bell icon, because I'm going to go live. Like, I keep thinking like something's going to happen. Someone in the chat's going to say, hey, they released the trailer. Like, I'm waiting. Like, I'm so waiting for it to happen. For those of you who stuck around for the comic talk, thank you. I am definitely going to be changing the title and thumbnail for this episode, like I did on my last episode, where I was doing my review of Green Lantern or Justice League Red #4, and I changed it to Lanterns Delayed, with also a review of of Justice League Red 4. So yeah, I think since we talked 50 minutes about this trailer news and stuff, I'm gonna create a new thumbnail after we're done and retitle this, which is fine, because, dude, I was telling Stevie today, I said, Will and I talk about the book Green Lantern like once a month, but for some reason this past month felt like the longest. I felt like I haven't talked to you in like 3 months.
It's been a busy month.
And then just this week with all this garbage, no substance. I need substance. You guys are giving me like breadcrumbs. So just give me a freaking loaf. WB, drop a loaf on me. So, dude, give one more plug so people know where to get the best, most thorough Green Lantern news on the planet, as far as I'm concerned. Get the Green Lantern news at the source.
But yeah, if folks are interested in following me anywhere, if you just head to greenlanternspodcast.com, on the main page, there's links at the bottom that you can just click on, Reddit icon, Threads icon, that'll take you. Anytime I share a post somewhere, I try to make sure I share it on all the platforms, unless on Reddit, I've already seen somebody else do it. But also here, Green Lanterns Podcast on YouTube. You can listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, really anywhere that you get your podcast as well. But yeah, if you just head to greenlanternspodcast.com, or if you got listener feedback or you want to reach out to me directly about something like some people on the show did, you can email me at will@greenlanternspodcast.com, and I will always reply, unless it's a troll email. Even then, I might reply. I still might reply.
All right. And then if you're over on the YouTube channel, hit that like button on a video, but also if you have a spare hype points, definitely do that as well.
Drop your hypes on this video.
Yeah. We want to start getting ahead of new.
For those who are confused about hype, because it is a new thing on YouTube, I believe it's only available to be used on the mobile apps for iPhone and Android. If you're trying to do it from desktop, it is not going to show up. But if you're logged in on your phone and you use the website, not going to see it. You have to download and use the YouTube app on Android or iOS. And then it doesn't tell you this, but each time you hype a video, you can actually do it 3 times every week. And it just takes a second to do, and it will help, like this video for Ralph, potentially reach to another member out there somewhere who hasn't seen his stuff before, who might also come join the community here. And it does help out a lot. It puts you on a leaderboard.
Yeah. Great. Yeah. I think mostly my hypes are waiting for your videos to drop, and then Jenna over at Go Read Some Comics, Brandon Davis, who's a buddy, him, Heroes Reforged with Hector, like anybody that's like sort of in this universe that's shown up, or any like sort of friends that I know outside of this show, like I tend to use it for that. So at the end of the week, I try to make sure I hit everybody. You and Jenna got the most last week from me, because you guys were posting videos. Thanks for joining me. Considering becoming a member like Darren did this week, you'll get an exclusive live streams. I'm going to be doing live streams once a month just for members, and it's only 99 cents. There's only one tier. So I think it's December 10th or something. I'll be doing a members only live stream, which I haven't come up with what the subject is. But if you watch this November's live stream, I talk all about this fucking goddamn hat. this hat that's been like hounding me. Sorry for swearing, but I'm really
it's okay.
Yeah, I mean they didn't tell you couldn't show it.
No!
They didn't.
After
They didn't tell you can show it.
I reached out and I said, "Hey, I'm not trying to get any more strikes. Could I share it? I've got a good phone." And
so they didn't say anything. They didn't say anything. They didn't say anything. I'm assuming.
No, I got a reply back.
It was completely off of this.
Yeah.
This record that I had back there. Well, it's great chatting. Talk to you soon. Hopefully we get some real substantial news coming up. And I'll know if we get news because I follow you. Thanks. I'm very thankful for you, by the way. This channel wouldn't be where it is without you. This is the time for giving thanks. I am super, super thankful for you. This channel was kind of puttering along. You gave me some advice and I reluctantly followed it, which has been giving me endless rewards. So thank you so much. When I did get 2 hats, there was no other person I thought of. Some other people asked if I can get them a hat, and I'm like, only got 2. Sorry. It's not.
Well, I am likewise very thankful for you. It's been an awesome time for me in the fandom, especially like me starting out and being able to join some like the GL June stuff with the other creators.
Yeah.
That always feels really good to be included, but I feel like we immediately had a bond and a brotherhood, and it's just been like there's no ego between you or I. We hear news, we share it immediately. We're texting, talking about the stuff. We're getting to do these videos with each other all the time. Like I consider you a close friend at this point, and it's been an awesome year. And thank you guys also in the YouTube comments, and anybody who also listens, drops a like, takes the time to interact with the videos at all on my page or here with Ralph. It goes a long way, and the channels don't grow without you guys also contributing. You are a part of that as well. And I hope everybody has a wonderful and safe holiday season from here through the end of the year as well.
Yeah. Stay strong out there. And as always, beware my podcast. It's Lanterns Live. Bye, everybody.